Hello everybody. Today we'll be discussing lesson number 5, that is functions and pointers. This is one of the important concepts of the C programming language that we have been learning till now. This is a bit a lengthy chapter. I'll be quite a bit faster compared to the previous lessons. Here we'll be discussing what's a function and why we have to use this function. Then how can we pass values between all the functions. Then scope rule of the function, that means for how long that can exist, and then advanced features of the functions, and then how can we add few functions to the library. Let's go for the first lesson, first topic. What's a function? A function is a self-contained block of statements that performs coherent task of some kind. That means whenever you give any particular task to that function, it completes all the tasks assigned to it and then returns a value. That is called a function. Simple definition, as all we know, a function is a kind of program that all the tasks given to it have to be completed. The same way applies in the C language as well. We use functions like hiring a person to do some work for us. Here also we ask some part of the program to be done by another part of it, right? We look for two things in a function, like calling or activities and the function and function itself. These two functions or these two things will be understood very clearly as we go to the end of this lesson. Here is a small example program. Void main, that means that doesn't return any value. Void message, I'm sorry. Then comes the int main, as common as all the programs that we have gone through. Here is a message. This is called a function because this is later defined somewhere else in the program. This part will be executed when this line of execution happens in the program. Once this is executed, this have to go back to this, and then continuation of the next statement, that is printf, will be continuing and then returns a value. This is what a function, a general meaning is. Easy way that we can understand is, this is a function, it performs some actions, only then we can go ahead with the next statements of all the program code that we are supposed to execute. Now we have defined two functions in the previous thing, main and message. In fact, we have used word message 3 places in the program, like here one message, here one message, and here the other message, but we are saying we are using only twice. Let's see why. Function prototypes are written as like this. When you write as void or int, then that is called as a prototype. Function prototype, we write it as like this, and then this prototype declaration indicates that message is a function which after completing its execution does not return anything. As I said you previously, when you write void, it does not return anything. This is the second usage. As I said you, in the second usage we use as a void message and then gives a printf statement within this function. The third usage comes here, message. We using this function message is being called by main. That means only a main function calls this function message, and then the rest of the part of the program will be executed. Therefore this message becomes a called function because that is being called by the main. Here is a simple example. Here I am defining 3 functions, void Italy, void praise, and void Argentina. Here is the main where the execution of the program starts. Let us call all these functions one after the other. When this function is terminated, it comes here and this part of the program is executed. After that, this part of the program, and then this part of the program. there the program ends. This is how any number of functions can be used. Once you need to declare it, then call them. All the particular thing that you write within the function will be executed. Here, why we have to use a function? As we have saw previously, we need not write same code so many number of times. For example, here I wrote all these three things. These three functions can be written three individual times, as I said you here, but basically what happens is we can use same function any number of times. That helps us to reduce the code that we write into the program. And then the other main important thing that why we use functions is that it becomes easier to write programs and keep track of what we are doing. I mean, like what that function particularly does for us and returns a value. Now, how we have to pass the values to that functions? Let's go through passing values to the functions. This has normally some data that you have to pass to the function. That data is otherwise called as an argument. This argument is also called as a parameter sometimes. Here a simple example. This is the function int call sum. You're declaring three values, int x, int y and int z. Here you declare all ABC values. You ask the user to enter values. You store them in ABCs, calculate the sum, print it and return. I'm calling a function int call sum. This function does int values, I mean like d, adding all the x, y, z and returns the d value. That means whenever you return this value, that will again go to this int x, y and z. This int x, y, z values are occupied here. This is how you pass a value into any kind of function. There are so many things that we have to observe in the previous program. Like we used a main which containing values a, b, c passed on to the function and then calculated this. These values a, b, c are called as actual arguments, whereas x, y, z are called as formal variables. Likewise, these ABCs are actual arguments because we are defining them within the main, and this x, y, z are called as formal variables that we use within the function. This function prototype has call sum using int instead of void. In the first program we used it at a void because we did not wanted any value to be written. Here we are using it as an int because we wanted some values to be written for the main program. And there is no restriction of using any number of written statements. That means you can use any number of written statements within one function, and that written statement need not be at the end. It can be at any point of time when you use a function. And the last point is like you can use functions to return some values, but there is some situations like functions cannot return more than one value. Here like we use functions to return zeros always, or d here as we see. But if you ask function to return both a and b values or x or 12 values, that does not return, and this becomes an invalid statement. Here we see scope rule of the function. This simply states that what is the life of the function. That means till how long a function can be alive. We use this function anywhere in the program, right? So function can be alive for only particular duration of time, or function can be alive till the entire life of the program exists or not. That describes the scope rule of the function. For simple example here, I declared an int value and assigned int I and assigned a value 20 for it, asking for a display. Here when I come for this k value 35 and then asking for print k, whatever the value that I gave for this k is valid only within this function. Once you come out of this, the value of k is erased. That means the scope of k here is always 35 when you are within this function. Here, advanced features of functions. Functions have so many advanced features, like you can give a return type, you can call functions by values or references, and even through recursions. Recursions are one of the important topics that we are going through now. Return types. Return types is what, when you ask a function to return a value, then that value should be of the same data type of the parameters that you pass through the functions. As I said you previously, when we pass a value, it can be of int or double, and then that return type also should be of same type. Here I took an example of floating point numbers. Pointer notations. Pointer is a place where you store the address of some other values. These notations have reverse space in memories, association names, and stores 3 values at one location. Here a simple example of pointer. How does it store? I gave a value of 3. Now I is equal to 3. Then I is the location name. The value that I am giving is 3, and the location address is this. This can even be printed onto a program by using these statements and obtaining the expected outputs. Back to function call. This function call sends a value of that argument, sends address of the argument. If you want a and b to be swapped, that means a value to be put in b and b value to be assigned for a, then you undergo a procedure of swapping and then finishes the main here. You call this function once again, and then this does the procedure of swapping, returns the value to this swap of a comma b, and then gives the appropriate printout. Recursion. Recursion is a very important topic. As I said you, this recursion states that a function calling itself. That means till now we saw a function is called by a main, or a function is called by within the main program, only then it have to execute. But the scenario here is completely different. You can even execute a function by itself, that is called as a recursive function. Simple example as of that, fact is a factorial. This factorial is the function, and it is being called here by itself. Recursions on and stack. Stack is a concept where you store the values into the memory in first come scenarios, like first come first serve scenarios. Like if the value is entered first, that will be stored in the first position. If the value is entered next, that will be stored in the next position. This can also be done with the help of the recursion onto the stack, which also makes the program much effective. Additional features. We can add user-defined functionalities to the library. Till now, we only have gone through what all libraries that we have, like stdio.h or any other libraries. We can even use some libraries that we define it. They are called as user-defined functions. We can use these functions on compiling time, as they are valid libraries in compiled form. You can use it at any point of compilation procedure. For example, we used a math.library which contains all the mathematical operations to be done, and this declaration of prototype factorial can be fact.h. Any other user defined functions can also be built. Coming to the summary, we have gone through saying that functions are used for avoiding repetition code, and then function declarations specify the type of the function and type of the parameters that accepts, and we have gone through the pointers that are variables which hold the address of the other variables, and function that can be called by itself is called a reference or a recursion function. And then recursion offers a better solution than loop. This is the other important point. And then adding too many functions shouldn't be there, because we should not get so much of confusion where